Hi, if you're watching, I am just sharing this video to Facebook right now. So, hey, give me just one moment, and I have to figure out how to share it. I forget again. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, so let me share this real quick, and I will get the video started. Hope everyone's having a great 4th of July. I hear fireworks outside right now. The 4th of July is actually my favorite holiday. It's I love the 4th of July. I liked it a lot when I was little. I had a boyfriend that made it special when I was in high school, and for some reason it's always been my favorite since then. So I hope that everyone is having a good day. It's raining here, which sucks, but it's actually rained here like the last 3 or 4 4th of Julys. 4th of July, I don't know how you say that, but I am going to kind of give you guys a little bit of an about me in this video, because I know that I haven't really done that. I've talked about my history with using and my arrest and all that stuff, but I haven't given you a lot of details about me, just fun facts or stuff like that. So that's what this video is doing. I have a fan on. Can you guys hear that? If that's annoying, let me know and I will turn it off. I live in a really old house, which I complain about a lot, but there's no central air. Everything in this area is incredibly old, so there is no central air unless it's a brand new build. So I obviously am named Megan, and I live in Pennsylvania. I was born in Pennsylvania, but I've lived in a couple different states. So I have lived in Pennsylvania, Florida. I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I lived in Oceanside, California. I was married to a Marine, and he was stationed out there. And I lived in South Carolina and Pennsylvania, between each time I moved. So I have to say that California is hands down the best place to live. Once you, growing up on the East Coast, humidity is just part of my existence. I don't really know life without it. And good, you hear it in the head without headphones. Good. I'm always worried to film with a fan because it's hot, but I don't want to be annoying. When I watch a video and it's got that humming in the background, I hate it. So yeah, so growing up on the East Coast and then moving out to the West Coast, I drove across country, and it's when you hit I think it was Arizona, maybe, it was all of a sudden you just step outside the vehicle and it's this weird feeling of dry heat, which is something I had never felt before because it's always just so humid here. And everywhere I lived on the East Coast, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Florida, full of humidity. So I would love to live on the West Coast, but that freaking is so expensive. We, like I said, we're out there for military. So he had the BAH, I think, covered it. I think basic housing allowance, BHA. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But when we moved into this 1-bedroom apartment, it was in a condo, and it was itty bitty. Hi, welcome to the video. We started paying $1,300 for a 1-bedroom apartment that, you had the shared pool and a shared gym, which was a treadmill and an elliptical, and I think a couple free weights. But by the time we left, which was really no more than a year later, we ended up having 2 cars and had to buy a garage space. So for the 1-bedroom apartment and the garage and the shared amenities, we ended up paying $1,700 a month. What? That's insane. I cannot believe that they even charge that much. I don't know how. Well, everybody I knew out there, I worked at Panera at that point, and everybody I knew out there had literally 3 jobs. Hey, Nicole. So I am giving you about me. So let's see. Let's start from the beginning. I'm 32, I think. Yeah, I'm 32. I'll be 33 soon. My birthday is July 18th, and Greg's birthday is July 11th. Yeah, our fireworks here are at 9 p.m., so I figured I have plenty of time to make this video go. I love fireworks so much. So anyway, uh, Greg's birthday is July 11th, and we have a week of birthdays here. So it's him July 11th, and I'm July 18th. So I'm excited for that, but I'm going to be 33, which is weird. And I have a son. I have one little boy. His name is Emerson. He's 3 going on 4. Suddenly I'm like, I don't know how old I not just in this video, like I literally don't know how old we are ever. I just always forget. I gotta text Greg real fast, tell him he can come in here. And I have 3 dogs. So you guys have always seen them in the background, and they're my favorite. I got 2 of them here. I got my chubby Chihuahua, Bubby, and Jazzy, and then the black dog, which you see occasionally, is Ramona. I was really smart in high school, like nerdy smart, and I did really well, so I got national honors, and I went to study art. I love art. I love creating things. I just find that really enjoyable. I was into pop punk music. My favorite band was, yes, please, thanks, Renee. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then I can have a community tab and update you guys, and that'd be so cool. But in high school, my favorite band was Blink-182, and my my senior year of high school, I wore the first day of school. I thought I was so cool. I had on a black shirt and a pink and black plaid skirt with a studded belt, which I wore sideways, so it was like turned to the side, and I had black and pink Vans. And I was like Avril Lavigne. If I just wanted to be Avril Lavigne, literally Avril Lavigne or Gwen Stefani. And I I've seen Blink-182 a bunch of times. I love going to concerts. I thanks Nicole. I don't know if cute is quite the word I would use, but like my style got even weirder after. Hey Jess. My style got even weirder after high school. So at that point in time, like you guys, if you're around my age, you know that like the scene happened, MySpace happened, and it was interesting. You know, like Jeffree Star became popular. I've been a fan of Jeffree Star since like 2004, maybe 2005. Sometime around then. So when college hit, I broke up with my high school boyfriend. I cut off all my hair, like literally cut it all off, and had like this little pixie. I had my septum pierced. I had an industrial barbell. I had snake bites. I had like my belly button pierced, which was stupid, and like I dyed my hair black, and it was a weird phase. I look back at my pictures and it was just so embarrassing because I have like ugly black hair, which I hated, so I immediately tried to go back from black to blonde, which is next to impossible. And I had like hot pink eyeshadow on and these big chunky pearl necklaces. The chunky pearl necklaces were like my signature accessory. It was ridiculous. Yeah, my industrial just actually, it didn't collapse my ear, but it started to grow like that little bump on the outside on the back, and I felt it and hated it. So I think cartilage piercings suck. They do not heal. They take a very long time. I had mine for over a year, and it still hurt to sleep on it. And when it started to get that little growth at the top, I was like, nope, F this, I'm out of it. And I took it out. But I think that the thing that I actually really enjoyed having a septum piercing. I've considered getting it again, but I've already had it 3 times. I feel like it's probably not something that you should pierce over and over again. Hey, Jason. I have tattoos. I don't know if you've seen, like I have one on my shoulder. It's a carnation, which you can't really tell, and it says Serenity, but I wear like tank tops like this, and people think it says Jeremy all the time. I have guys come up to me and be like, hey, you have my name tattooed on you. And I'm like, is your name Serenity? And obviously it's not. So that's always fun. I have, yeah, I'll have to show you a picture of it with the tank top because it looks hilarious. I don't know any Jeremys. Thankfully, I didn't date any Jeremys, so it doesn't bother me. Like, imagine if my ex was named Jeremy, and then everyone thought that it looked like that. I have, my first tattoos were nautical stars, and I got them on my hip bones. I'm not going to show you them right now, but they're like right down here, like ridiculous. I got Carpe Diem on the back of my neck, and I got my family coat of arms on my ribs, and this one is horrible. This is like the worst tattoo I have. And then I have 2 tattoos on my legs. Oh yeah, I had a friend do a jailhouse tattoo, which is like I wear my heart on my sleeve. So seen, so ex-core. And you got Randy tattooed on you, Jess? Okay. I don't even think I would get Greg tattooed on me, and we've been together for how long and have gone through so much stuff. Like, I know a lot of people though that have their boyfriend or girlfriend's name. Trust me, it's not like I didn't consider it at one point in time. Greg has he has it covered up now, but had the best / worst tattoo in the world. On the back of his neck, he got the word liar tattooed. So when we were dating like years ago, this was like 2007, we had to deposit on a tattoo, and then we ended up not being able to go follow it. I think we were moving or something. I don't remember. So he went and got like just a tattoo for the $50 deposit. And he comes home and he's so proud of it, and it says liar on the back of his neck. Hey, oh, good. Happy to see you here. I ended up buying him a gift for his birthday, I think like 2 years ago, that covered it up. He's got like this big anchor on his back now, and it's got like an octopus arms coming up around it. It looks really cool, but he went with how many years? I guess he had liar tattooed on him for like 7 or 8 years, just on the back of his neck. And as a guy, like your hair's not going to cover that, so that's just out there for the world to see. Yeah, my favorite tattoo is a tattoo. It's covered right now, but it's an owl on my leg. My friend Colby did it, and he is a phenomenal artist. So I wanted to get a tattoo of a ring on my finger. Like if I ever got married, well, I was married, but when I was younger, I always said if I ever got married, I'm going to get a ring tattooed on my finger. I think I might still do that. I really like finger and hand tattoos, but like just that small, minimal look, like something like nothing big on my hands. I don't really want this part of my hand, but like I like when girls have like something here or like just little geometric designs. I know that's probably cliche and cheesy, but I like it. It's cute. I mean, I got nautical stars tattooed on my hips. Like, I'm obviously not that original. You want to say hi, Jazzy? So, just some random facts about me. My favorite color. Oh my gosh. Dizzy? Like Donald Dizzy? That would be awesome if that's you, because I haven't seen you in forever. Random facts about me. My favorite color is purple. I like the Baltimore Ravens, but I don't really watch football anymore. For like when I was in jail, I watched a lot of football, and that was like a huge thing. And the year that I was in jail, the Baltimore Ravens were like having their big year. So I obviously fell in love with Joe Flacco and thought it was great. Here, you want to come up and say hi? Okay. Oh, it's someone's birthday? Happy birthday, Nate. I missed it was your birthday. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. Oh, yes, it's Nate, your son. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Oh, 5 years. He is adorable. I was watching him I was watching your live stream the other night where you were going over, I think it was the NA chapter. It was just the other night I was watching it. And he's so cute. When he came back and he said he asked for food or a granola bar or something. And he was like, Mommy, it's dark and I'm scared to go down the hallway. Kids are freaking adorable. We took Emerson to a creek today, and we're watching crayfish. Crayfish are weird-ass things, like little lobsters in freshwater. Anyway, so back to my random facts about me. I am pretty certain that I don't sleep with my eyes shut. I always get random, like, I wake up and my eyes are incredibly dry. And I always get, like, hairs in my eyes. And it's like, Greg thinks it's incredibly weird. To me, it's just whatever. It's normal. It's my life. But it's very weird. So I know how to skateboard. I know how to snowboard. I don't do either of those anymore. And I like roller skating. Roller skating is probably one of my favorite things to do. I tried out for roller derby. Well, I didn't try out. I went to fresh meat for a while and participated, and like those girls are some strong ass women. I love them. You can come in.
Maybe.
Okay. But I actually don't think I would like to play roller derby, but I think that I would like to just do fresh meat all the time because they teach you how to skate. They whip your ass into shape. They teach you how to skate, how to like, I mean, we were doing like laps around their small track, and like you have to do 27 laps in 5 minutes, and it's just crazy fast. And he actually did it with me because I don't have any friends and I was too afraid. So I had him participate, and it actually is an all-girls team that is in our area, but they let him do it so that he could. I think you were going to be a ref, right?
That was the long-term plan. Yeah. We stuck with it.
Yep. And prior to having Emerson, we were rock climbing. We would go bouldering all the time. I loved it. In South Carolina, there was a gym that we could go to. That was really cool. And we went lifting. Yeah, I was like a weightlifter. Literally, like we
lifted a lot.
Yeah, we did it every day. I went to the gym like twice a day, and then we would go in and do like arms on one day, chest on Monday, back on this day, and like I was fit, and I have zero excuses as to why I'm not anymore. I could make the time, but I don't.
Having a baby is hard.
Yeah, it is. I feel like they're gonna bark soon. Look at Bubby. He's like, what? Don't
put me on camera.
I love rock climbing, Jess. It's so much fun. Do you do bouldering or do you do the top rope? I always say tightrope. Top rope climbing. I got to do both. See, I knew it. I knew she was gonna bark. Sorry, guys. She's a bitch. I love rock climbing, and we ran our first 5K while I was pregnant. Yeah, that was really fun. I think maybe one day I'm gonna be active again. I don't really know. My excuse was like having a baby and then raising him, and then it was school. And now I don't have any excuses. So YouTube's my excuse. I don't go to the gym because of YouTube.
Because we're kind of lazy.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm just lazy.
And I walk like 10 miles a day at work, so. I
don't. I sit at a desk. I used to speaking of like my jobs, after I got out of jail, I started at Panera Bread, which was awesome because I was a felon at that point. So I moved down to Florida and started there. My sister got me a job and started as an hourly associate. And like, if you have a record, I would highly recommend going to Panera Bread. I'm pretty sure that they even hire people if you've had like a theft or like a stealing charge. And they are such a good company to work for. I started at hourly, and then I went up to be a shift manager, and then I went up to be a salary assistant manager. I was making good money. I was making like $40,000 a year, but you work your ass off for it.
The hours are so bad.
You have to work a lot of hours. And when I became a mom, it just wasn't really happening. I had a 9-month-old baby at home that I never got to see. So it sucks. Well, yeah, Greg had gotten out of jail or out of prison not that long ago. Snowman's Angel. She said, when Snowman gets out, he wants her to go to the gym with him, and it freaks her out. Well, he went to the gym, or he was in prison and worked out all the time.
Every day, all day.
So like as soon as he got out, he got a gym membership, and then I moved down there, and like when we reconnected, I was like, yeah, I guess I could work out. So I started like doing things at home, and then I went down there. That's not like going to the gym religiously is not something I do.
Once
like
you
I would
get
have
in
done.
the habit of something, it's easier to like keep doing it. But until then, it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice, and then we'll fall off for weeks.
Yeah, well, now it's been years. But I mean, we were hardcore. We were like chicken and rice and protein shakes and the whole nine. And yes, I love. Thanks. Is that really Dizzy? Like Dizzy D? I still haven't seen if you actually said that. I think that's my friend Dizzy D. Donald. I've talked about him. He lived in Maryland. Yeah, remember? Mm-hmm. I thought you would know who I was talking about. And Yeah, so I worked at Panera Bread, and now I switched and I'm doing this office job, which is I have the coolest boss ever, and I love the people I work with. But it's not something I ever expected. It's for an appraisal company, so like I'm actually just like a personal assistant. I get this guy's schedule, and I do a schedule. I contact all his people. I set everything up for him. So it's really cool. It's really easy. I love it.
It's a good fit for you.
Yeah. Greg actually has a really cool job, I think, because of who he is. So he actually works at a plastic, how would you say?
It's composite manufacturing.
Yeah. So Greg has a 3D printer just for hobby, just for fun. And he actually just printed me a little soap dish. But he's printed me so many different things. Like he's printed this ring, and he's printed parts, like our weed whacker broke, and he printed a part to that to fix it. He's printed, what else have you printed? Like toys.
There's lots of little... Emerson gets a lot of 3D printed toys because it doesn't matter if he breaks them, because I'll just print another one.
Right. So that's essentially what he does for work, though, is he does big plastic composites, and that's pretty cool. So
plastics are neat.
Yeah. And I, you know that I have gone to school. I study psychology. I'm looking at going back for my master's, but logistically speaking, it's not the time yet. So I'm taking a lot of time to research and really figure out what I want to do. There's an online program in Florida. It's like Florida State University. They have an MSW, which is your Master of Social Work. And I kind of want to do this one. It's a part-time school. So the classes, like University of Phoenix has like 5-week courses, it's so hard.
Too much.
Yeah. And Nicole, answer that in a second. This Masters of Social Work program, I think it's like 13-week courses, and twice a year.
Breathing room.
Yeah, like I think you have to go down to Florida twice for like weekends to do like actual clinical work. I don't know. It seems interesting. I'm really interested in the program, and I want to go down there. My mom, I didn't even tell you this yet. My mom's talking about taking a trip to Florida now. You know how spontaneous she is. So she wants to do that next month, and I was looking at going to see that campus to see what that looks like. But then there's also this criminal justice one for Penn State World, and basically you'd like do law reform and stuff. So, and Nicole said, when I met Greg, did I know he was the one? I knew he was going to be trouble. I knew that. I was like instantly drawn to him, but I knew he was going to be trouble, and I think that's partially why I was so drawn to him.
Possible.
Because he used to be a little asshole, and girls like assholes for some reason. So
I wasn't consciously an asshole.
No,
it
but
kind of happened.
You were also really cool too. You know, like you had like a different vibe that no one else had. Like your style was different than mine. I was very used to like the scene kids, and you had like a different take on that.
Half seen.
Yeah,
I was as seen as I could be without a lot of effort.
I converted him into like skinny jeans and like the swoopy bangs and all that good stuff. So I will. Thanks, Dizzy. I'll say hi to my mom and sister. My sister will be so excited that you were on here. I talked to her.
Jess is right. The participation post requirements suck.
Yes. Yeah. So Jess also does University of Phoenix. You know, the participation posts suck, but the freaking team assignments were.
Teammates are garbage.
I felt like no one cared as much as I did. If anyone's ever considering going to University of Phoenix, like you get in what you get out what you put into it. And
for sure.
I put in a lot. Like a lot. So my GPA was awesome. Like I got A's in just about every course. And if I didn't get an A, it was probably because something happened, like a life event. Like I was in a course right before I had Emerson. So that one, like the last week was a little rough. And like at the end, it got real rough because
rocky.
I completed all of my courses, all my psychology classes. So I had 2 electives I had to take, and they were like the stupidest courses ever. And it was so hard for me to try because I was like,
I'm done.
I know I'm capable of giving so much more, but I knew I didn't have to pass. It's not like me, but yes, I would love to see Christina and you in Florida. That would be if that worked out, that would be amazing. Oh yeah, someone asked me recently about my Suboxone. I am actually still on Suboxone. I had someone ask if I had tapered off of it. My Suboxone journey this is my second time on Suboxone. I was on it after I got out of jail, so like 2009, and I was on it for a year, and I tapered down, and I got down to like 0.5 milligrams every other day. And at that point, I didn't know that I was supposed to like feel bad at that point, so I knew that it was going to be a little hard. I took a week off of work, and I didn't sleep, and that was the worst part. And then I got over it, and I kept going on. And like the coolest part about getting off of Suboxone is like the way that your emotions balance out. So I don't feel numb now, but your emotional reactivity is definitely, it's dulled. And when you get off of it, like you'll have this huge upswing to like kind of counterbalance it, and it's crazy. And then I don't know, once you balance out and you start to feel happy, and I also think that the time of year matters too, because I did it at spring, and I would not do this during the winter or fall, because you want to like make sure that you have time. My lips are chapped. You want to make sure that you have time to be outside and go for walks and do that stuff. My chapstick's in there, I think. Jess, congratulations on a 3.8 GPA. I think mine ended at like a 3.6, but I had failed a class and had to redo it, and at that point, a 3.6 is still amazing. I still pat myself on the back for that. I finished it. It took me forever to finish it. Yeah, so I am back on Suboxone now. I got back on it. I've been on it a long time now, and at first I was bitter. I got on it because I hurt my back in 2014 and had to go on pain medicine and do like physical therapy, and it sucked. I did that for my work. I hurt myself at work. I was putting a tray of muffins in the oven at Panera, and I tweaked my back. That's how you know you're getting old. Actually, last year sometime I had to drive my car, and it doesn't have cruise control, so I had to drive it for an hour one way and an hour back. And I get home, and I have burritos, and I'm so excited. I'm walking up the stairs holding a burrito in my hand, and I threw my back out. Like that, I have never felt so old. I was just like, what happened? But I have back problems as it is because of the car accident we were in, and I have sciatica, and it's just part of what it is. So when I hurt my back in 2014, I didn't really think much about getting back on pain meds because I had taken them in the few years, like from the time I got off Suboxone until then. I had taken them once or twice, and it wasn't like I didn't go crazy, but this time I did, and I knew it was going to be bad. So it got to a point when I was almost out of them, and I wasn't thinking right, and I told Greg, I was like, I just got to get on Suboxone. Like if I don't get on Suboxone, I'm worried about what I'm going to do. And I'm so happy that I did that. And I have, in like 2016, so I had been on it for about 2 years, I was trying to taper off because I was just tired of it. I had problems with doctors, and the doctors weren't requiring therapy, and it was just a whole bunch of things. I think the money was the biggest issue, and we had been kicked out of a facility because of their weird scheduling. Like, they didn't schedule with you. They would call you to schedule sometimes, and I think they were trying to find a loophole for the 30-day, see a patient every 30 days. You can only see so many actively. So if you don't see the doctor, if 30 days pass and you don't see the doctor, you're no longer active. So I think they were doing that and letting people go inactive so they could see more patients, and then they didn't schedule us once, and we just got booted from the program, and I was pissed.
Scary.
Yeah. And then I got back in with the doctor I'm in now, and we did therapy, we did couples therapy, we did individual therapy, and it just made it so much better because I realized what Suboxone is actually for. Suboxone isn't the cure. Suboxone doesn't fix anything. Suboxone is literally something that buys you time so that you can work on yourself. And I've just tapered down as low as I can, or as I'm comfortable right now. So I do 2 milligrams now dosage. And sorry, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, my back issues could be better if I worked out. I know that. It's like so much cognitive dissonance, you know. I know what it is. I'll just make up excuses and pretend like it's not happening. CBD is something that I've been hearing a lot about lately, or like hearing from people I watch on YouTube and people recommending it. But like, how do you know you're getting it from a reputable dispensary or whatever?
You have to get real, like, and
how do you know?
Time, as far as I know, CBD without THC as well is not nearly as effective as if you put them together.
Yeah, but CBD is legal for a lot of places. So if you can't have it, or if you're on parole, like, I can see why CBD would be something that you would want to try. Yeah. I would like to try it.
Yeah, I think it's also like a long-term thing, if I'm not mistaken. Like it has to build up in your system a little. I don't know. I'm definitely talking out my ass.
I'll look into that a little bit more, but I've been interested in trying CBD because why not? Like, if it's going to work, that would be amazing. I think my biggest issue is finding it from a reputable source, making sure I'm not going to get ripped off. Bye, Jess. I probably missed that, but need to get like 0.03 THC to activate. I am considering going to my doctor, my Suboxone doctor, actually they offer all medications for MAT. So you can get what's it called? Just like a card, like a cannabis card? I don't know what it's called. Card. Medical marijuana. I just don't like calling it marijuana. Like, my personal preference is cannabis, but
yeah, for sure.
So I've been thinking about getting that and trying it. We have a dispensary right down the street. It's definitely something I want to. That's crazy, Dizzy, that you went through all this stuff. Like, so.
Right, cannabis. Yeah. Marijuana is a
propaganda word. It's not. I don't want to use that word, but so for everybody else in here, like the people that follow me, Dizzy, Suck It Low, I'm pretty sure it says. Suck It Slow. Good name. Let me say that one a couple times. He's actually my friend IRL, and we met through a mutual friend at college. And apparently we have the same life. Dude, you're going to have to hit me up on Facebook and message me so we can talk. I don't know where you're living these days. I'm back in Pennsylvania, though. Therapy is such a huge part of the process. And honestly, well, when I was in South Carolina, I did it, but since I had been back, so from like 2016 until 2017, like a good year, I didn't do any therapy. And even in South Carolina, I didn't do as much as I should have. So I feel like you can be on Suboxone or MAT or methadone, any type of medication, and if you don't really put in that work with therapy or 12 steps or smart recovery or something, you're really just waiting for a relapse. Because what happened was, when I got, on the pain medicine for my back injury, and all these triggers started going, and, all my cravings and everything just came out of nowhere, I felt like, because I had taken a pain pill here and there for an injury before and had no issue. So when I wasn't prepared, I didn't have any coping skills. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know, I knew I should have reached out to someone, but I didn't know how. And I was afraid. Like, my mom knew that I hurt myself. She was actually down there in South Carolina visiting when that happened. So she knew I was on pain medicine. So it was like, I don't know. I can't believe I was as naive as I was to think that it wasn't going to go crazy like that. And I'm just so grateful that I had Greg to literally make me not. I could have been back using again. And my video tomorrow is actually a sad video. And it talks about people that I've lost to addiction, to overdoses. And the two people that I mentioned in the video both had significant amounts of clean time before they relapsed and overdosed. And that really fucks with me, because I don't know how they got there or what they didn't do. And I know the girl specifically that I talk about, she did put in work. She did go to meetings. She put in a lot of work on her recovery, but I think she backtracked. I think that she came back to our hometown, and I think she just kind of reverted back into old ways and let herself do it without having any checks and balances in place. And the guy that I talk about, I know he didn't put in any real work. I know he didn't really go to meetings. I know he didn't do anything. Hi, Ashley. Yeah, so the video is sad, but I think it's one that needs to be put out there. But their relapses and overdoses have just really, well, with losing them sucks. Losing them has been hard, but like the fact that they relapsed, that's the part that really messes with me. Like, I just want to make sure that I don't get there again. Yeah, it's very, yes, Nicole. Sometimes we slip, we fall back, and we get complacent. Complacency is no good, and it's so easy to be there, and it's so easy to just, I don't know. I thought that it was behind me. This is never going to be behind us. We should never allow ourselves to get in a position where we are
You just have to
not being
remember
proactive.
that, you have to remember that you're not the same as other people, and sometimes you have to take precautions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and Nicole said, like, I don't want to die. Like, if I was to ever go back out, I look at it like, no, I will die.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
It's too
a relapse.
too crazy.
A relapse is death now, and I like literally lost so many people last year. But I think that it's, I don't know, it's just crazy.
Thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. I like my life a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I say, but like, you have to think, like, maybe there may be a couple bad life events. Like, what would happen if a couple bad life events happened? Like, right now we're in a bind, we're in a pickle. We don't have a car. He got a bike. He's riding his bike to work. My mom's giving me rides. Like, we're waiting for the insurance. The other person's insurance company filed a claim, so I'm hopeful that it will get worked out. For those of you that don't know, our car was in a hit and run last week. It was hit out front of our house, and we were already down to one car because his alternator was having issues, and it was the warranty thing. We just didn't deal with it when we should have, and now we don't have a vehicle. So yeah, I don't know. What about, like, there could be other life events, like losing our parents, losing, I don't want to say it, but losing someone close to us. Like, what would happen then? Am I prepared for that? And that's something that I always think about, and I try to be. I think that I would have the tools in place.
We'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be all right, but I'd be okay. I get what you mean, but it would suck. I miss what she said. If he's coming out of jail or prison, I think Snowman's Angel, you said you're afraid he's going to relapse after release. Yeah.
That is a very pivotal time, man. Like, if you can stay clean when you first get out and like get past that like first little bit, you're so much more likely to stay clean. If you like get out and you're like, oh, I just want to try it one time. No, man, like,
he had a coworker that we saw that happen with.
I've come home from prison and gone right back to shit. Like, it only my sister offered me shit. She was like, here, I got this for you. And I'm fresh out of jail. I had no intention of getting high, but she was like, hey, look, you want this? And I was like, sure, and went right back to the races.
Yeah.
But I've also gotten out and not used.
Yeah. True. I think that there's a lot of places that have, like Pennsylvania prisons are offering Vivitrol shots for people when they are released from prison. If they had like opioid use disorder, if they had a problem with drugs, and then probably even pain pills. If you had any problems with opioids for a year. So I think it's people that are probably on parole, but that's always and something to look into. Just, if you do consider Vivitrol shots for him, if he does decide that's the route he wants to go, like, please make sure he understands what happens if he uses. We just had a friend pass away last year and he was like doing so well.
He was real involved in the recovery community.
Yes,
like, and been in the paper, like, for doing stuff with the community.
And the county did drug court, and then we have like an opioid court, I think, essentially. I think so. And he was like their prodigy child. Like, he was their success story. Yeah, prodigy child. He was their success story, and he was doing so well. He like rebuilt his life. He had years, and he was on the Vivitrol shot, and I think he finally got off of parole. I think that's what happened. And he completed the program successfully, and like literally a month later he went out and used. And because of the way that it lowers your tolerance, and the shit that's out there now is not something you want to mess with. And he passed away. So I have another friend that is on the Vivitrol shot, and he counts down the days until he gets his next shot, so he knows this window of time he has to use and
to try to get high.
To try to get high. So it's like the first couple days, and he'll do a lot. He told me it was so much, and then it doesn't work, and then he'll do that much again, and suddenly the Vivitrol's out of your system, and he overdoses again. And it's happened a lot. Like, he's overdosed.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
point,
that.
It's like, well, I guess
Vivitrol is a very good tool.
Yeah.
But you have to also put in the therapy and stuff like that.
Only
and
you know in your head if you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing that I shouldn't be doing. I'm looking forward to this date, and you know what I mean? You have to be honest with yourself is super important. Yeah,
you definitely have to learn to be honest with yourself. It's really great if you can have someone to be honest to. Like in the 12 steps, you have your sponsor, and that's an amazing relationship. You can have that also with a therapist. You can have that. I have that with Greg. I wouldn't always recommend it. You be with your partner, because that's not, what if you break up? What if lots of things like.
Well, and like there's a lot of like power and responsibility in knowing like everything. You know what I mean? Like it could definitely be used against you if I was like really an asshole.
I mean? Yeah, I think because we experienced it together. Like, it's not like I'm telling you my secrets. Like, you
just don't want to let everyone know your deep, dark secrets if you don't really trust them.
Yeah, you have to be very, very particular about who you do it.
Yeah, an accountability partner.
Yeah. You know someone that overdosed 15 times? I know someone that overdosed 7 times. She's my best friend, and she is on MAT and doing amazing. She's working in an outpatient clinic, and I could not be more proud of her. And she just lost her brother to an overdose, and she's doing well, and that makes me happy. Like, losing your sibling, and like, I genuinely think that she has an allergy to opioids, because back in the day, the dope wasn't as good as it is now. It wasn't as good, strong. Yeah, it wasn't as powerful. Like, potent. I think we knew, like, for a long time, I'd only known one person that overdosed, like, for a long time.
They were not.
It just wasn't what happened, but she did. She overdosed literally 7 times, 2 times in front of me, and it was just like, that doesn't seem normal. Like, I know that if she went out and relapsed now, I would lose her, and I'm just very proud of her. But there's a lot of people like that, and Narcan saved her life 7 times. So I hope that, I don't know if you guys have Narcan, but we do. We carry it. We got a prescription. In Pennsylvania, you can print out a prescription.
I think it's a federal thing where you can do it anywhere.
I think it's different states have different programs. I know Pennsylvania's governor allows us to have the prescription. You can print it out online, take it into a pharmacy, and your insurance covers it.
Mostly.
Sometimes. Mine was a lot. I think at that point I had medical assistance. Now I have my own insurance because I made too much money. But I think it's really important. For a while I didn't carry it on me, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why would I not? Shelf, it literally sat on the shelf for a long time. It's like, what if you are in a store and you hear over a loudspeaker like, da da da, does anyone have Narcan? And
I would be pissed if I was like, fuck, I have it at home.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, carry it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome that Baltimore gives it to you. I started carrying it after we went to visit my dad, and he lives in, what is it? Huntington, West Virginia, which is like, woo! It's bad. Like, the amount of pain pills that were pushed there is insane. And like, we literally pulled into it and we saw someone getting raided. Like, they had him on the street. Like,
I don't know if they were getting raided, but there were definitely cops there. Police presence. It was a little bit wild.
Yeah,
right. The house is right there.
Somebody's house, like two houses down from my dad, they just had like a fire where people were using drugs in the home and started a fire, and it's a bad area. So
it's a lot of poverty.
It's a lot of poverty. It's a really beautiful area. Sorry, there's a siren going by. And it thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Yeah, there is a lot of meth there too. And
a lot of drugs in general, because that's how people make money. The coal industry's dried up. There's a lot of industry there that dried up.
Yeah. See you, Nicole. Yes, everybody, on Friday, Nicole is having a Matt support group in a live stream, and she's having a guest, Dr. B. I think it's going to be really cool. You guys should go. It's Central Standard Time, so it's 7 Central Standard Time, I believe. Right? Yes. And I think, you know what else is something that we own, but like we don't really need it now, but I think it's something that people in their active addiction should use. It sits in our freezer, but a drug testing kit. We have it. Yeah. Who else is in here? I don't even know who else is in here right now. So no minute.
Can I do it from my phone? No.
Yeah, you can do it. But yeah, so when we got this thing like a long ass time ago, and like literally still have it, and it's a drug testing kit. I don't know if that's gonna make a noise if you have it. Okay. Say something. You gotta say something so I can make you. Oh no, you are a mod, I think.
Am I?
I don't know. Just say something. Oh yeah, here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you are one too. I'm gonna make her one too. Okay.
Yeah, it's Marquise reagent. It's Simon. It's 4 different reagents.
Yeah, there's someone that we know and love that's still in it and struggling. It's something that like I've tried to push them into, because you just don't know. And if you're in active addiction, like fentanyl drug testing strips are so cheap. I have never purchased them, but I've heard that you can buy them for like $1 online. And usually if you buy them online, you can buy them in bulk. So like, I hope that I'm really big in harm reduction, and I would really hope that we get around to that more. But
test kits are, yeah, if you're doing anything that you don't know what it is, like a test kit can really like help enlighten you as to what you're putting in your body.
And there's a lot of research chemicals these days that it's
anything
just
sold
crazy.
as Molly or MDMA is definitely not, and some random stuff.
Yeah, and then I saw Kelly's comment. It says now people are saying that 911 shouldn't save addicts' lives because of the cost. Well, the cost isn't even going to be affecting them. Like they're like, I don't want my tax money to go to that. Well, your tax money isn't going to that. There's grants. There's like donations. It's so many other people are paying for this stuff so that we can have Narcan, and so that EMTs and first responders and police officers have it. And then there's also grants so that we can get it too.
Who are they to say this person should die and this person shouldn't? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't get to pick who lives and who dies, man.
And my friend, welcome back, Holly. My friend overdosed 7 times. Narcan saved her 7 times, and now she's been in recovery for years.
And what she puts back into the community far outweighs the cost of that Narcan.
Exactly.
I promise.
Yeah, she works in an outpatient facility. Like she's a great person, and it's not that she wanted to die. I know that's like this common misconception or something. There are points in my life.
Yeah, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, there were points in my life when I was using, and I kind of hoped that, like, when I went to jail, the night before I went to jail, I bought like copious amounts, and I honestly hoped that it would kill me at that point, and I'm so glad it didn't. But most of the time, you don't want to die. You just want to be not sick. You want to be able to function, and you got yourself in this bind where you're just miserable. And I don't think it's all these people are saying these terrible things. And I wonder, it's like, who hurt you? Like, who is an addict in your life that hurt you? Because I know that it hurts to love an addict. And I feel like that's probably where it's coming from. Yes, Christine, cops and firemen shouldn't be given a God complex for lives. And oh my gosh, we were just reading about this Border Patrol a Border Patrol Facebook group that was private. I forget, Greg told me who found it. And the stuff they were saying about the people they are supposed to be watching and protecting and looking over is sickening. It's just like the prison guards with their feeling cute, might pepper spray your boyfriend tonight or your baby daddy tonight. Like, too many people get into these jobs because of the God complex, because they want that power. And it's terrifying. I feel like I don't know what it takes to become an officer. I have 3 officers in my family, about to be 4, I believe. And well, the 4th one is in the Marines, but I think he'll go that route too. And they're good people, but they also see a lot of bad cops too. And sad. It's sad because they are handling, take for example this hit and run accident. The officer told us not to call our insurance. Someone else hit us and fled, but we got their information. So the officer told us not to call our insurance because it would go against our insurance. So don't file a claim or anything. Let us get the other guy's information so that we can file it on their claim. Well, then the officer called a tow truck driver, and the tow truck driver didn't take it to the place we requested. The officer was supposed to tell him where to take it. So the tow truck company is running this big scam, and I was having to deal with all this stuff, and it's like I trusted the officer when he told me not to call my insurance, but I should have called my insurance. I didn't need to file a claim. I just needed to tell them what was going so they could step in and handle like this tow truck BS. But if I'm trusting an officer for this and he's not giving me the correct information, or he's getting me in situations like with this tow truck company, like, we explicitly told you where to take my car, you were supposed to tell him and you didn't. If I can't trust you for that kind of stuff, like, I'm really worried about things like someone overdosing. Like, are you going to be able to know how to do the right thing? Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to tell people the right information? We have a lot of educating to do, and it's crazy because we have a lot of people that work in these positions, like police officers, firemen, EMTs, doctors, nurses. We have so many of them that don't know the correct information, or still have misconceptions, don't understand how Suboxone works, don't understand how Suboxone isn't using. They see it as using, and it's crazy. Christine, she said, my dad was a sheriff. When I came out to him for being an addict, it changed his whole mindset on addicts. There's actually this facility in Maryland. I think it's Hampstead. I can't remember exactly in Maryland, but it's called Brooks House. And it was this police officer in Maryland. His daughter, Brooke, was an addict. And he did everything that he could to get her clean. He tried to put her in treatment. He tried to help her, and it just wasn't working. And he, as an officer, was actually part of like the drug task force, and he was the person that arrested dealers and users and put him in jail. And she got arrested, and he thought that was going to be a good thing for her. So she had like a couple weeks. I don't think it was a very long stay in jail, maybe up to like 3 months. She went to jail, she got out, relapsed, and overdosed. And he thought he was helping her, but he got her into a position where she wasn't treated. She reduced her tolerance and then overdosed. And he's learned from that, and he's doing so much, but it sucks that he had to lose his daughter. And I applaud him for opening Brooks House. I've donated to it. I'm really excited for it. I wish I lived closer, but it's, I don't want it to be too late for these people. I hate that it has to wait until it's too late. Yeah, she was treated like a criminal for her addiction, and too often we are. Someone said something about a doctor, I think. My mom doesn't like me being on subs. She thinks quitting is as easy as just throwing it down the toilet. She's told me several times to do so. Well, you know not to do that, so please don't do that. I'm sorry that your mom has this misinformation and misconceptions, but like, I didn't tell my mom and sister when I got back on Suboxone the second time. I was afraid that they were going to overreact and think that I must have been out using and running the streets again if I needed to be on Suboxone. And I didn't want to have to deal with their shit too. Like, I was already dealing with enough, and I felt like I'm an adult, I'm in a good place, I'm seeing a doctor, I'm seeing a therapist, I have Greg, I'm paying my bills, I have a job, like, I'm doing the right thing. I got on Suboxone, I don't need to share this. And it sucked keeping that secret. Like, it sucked so bad. It was like over little things, when I gave birth, I had to make sure that they didn't talk about medicine in front of my mom. When I was dealing with one of these appointments, I had to make sure they didn't say anything in front of my mom. And HIPAA protects you for a lot of that stuff, but having my mom in those situations, I can't just be like, no, don't talk about this, my mom's in the room. I have to like tell them in advance. And I did come clean. I did tell my mom and my sister. Obviously, I'm talking about it on the internet, and they understand. Like, it wasn't easy, to be quite honest. They did react similar, like quite like how I thought they would. But not telling them is actually it's not doing any good. It's actually hurting things because it's allowing this like misconception about Suboxone to exist. It's allowing them to not understand. And I feel like it's important to try and advocate for this, but like I'm in a position to do that. Not everyone is. And it sucks. I have had so many people tell me that they haven't told their parents or they haven't told their friends, or they, they lie, or their friends and family tell them to get off of it, tell them to stop, tell them it's bad for them. Like, what's bad for you? Relapsing and dying. And the likelihood of dying after a relapse is just so it's so bad. Why would you even risk it at this point? There are plenty of people out there that have been able to quit cold turkey, use an abstinence-based method. I can't say that ever. They quit cold turkey, use an abstinence-based method, and have been fine. They work the 12 steps or do something, maybe not. And I applaud them. I respect them and their choice. I could not stop on my own, and I chose to take a medication because I could literally transition in 24 hours from my pain medicine to Suboxone, and then I went on with my life. Like all of those crazy thoughts that I had been having about the pain pills, like what happens when I run out? Who am I going to call to get more? Can I get more? I started looking around and asking people. All of that disappeared when I got on Suboxone. And you guys know how amazing it is. I just wish other people could respect our choice. And there's so many treatment facilities that aren't even offering that. And that is literally the Surgeon General's gold standard for treatment for opioid use disorder. I have to find the source, but I was listening to somebody talk about it, and they said 60% of treatment facilities either don't offer medication at all, or they only offer one type of medicine. So, like, you'll go to a methadone clinic that doesn't offer anything else, and that's not the gold standard. Like, the gold standard of treatment is all forms of medication, therapy, the psychosocial or behavioral therapy, and then the community-based recovery support services like job training, education, all of that stuff. Like, we know this works. Like, it is evidence-based. We have researched it. We know that this works. So why are we still fighting to feel valid? Like, I've reached a point where I don't need anyone else to validate me or my recovery. Like, I know what I'm doing. But it sucks. It sucks to have people against you. Yeah, I didn't do the doctor route correctly. I actually took some of Greg's years ago, and I got myself into a bind about that. But the money is hard. The money, not having money to buy Suboxone sucks. You know what? Sometimes though, like going to the doctor, I get into situations where I don't even have the money for that. Like, I have to pay $100 up front, and then you have to pay for the prescription. But like one time, I mentioned this, I think in my last live, I called. Their cancellation policy is as long as you cancel prior to your appointment, there's no cancellation fee. So I called at 11 a.m. and I had a 1 p.m. Appointment. Holly, you can if you're talking to me, you can direct message me on Instagram. It is Megan F, the same as my YouTube name. But so I had a Suboxone appointment at 1 p.m. I called in at 11 a.m. and I told her I can't afford this. I don't have the money today. I'm sorry. Can we reschedule for next week? Left a voicemail because she didn't answer. And then I went in there the next week and she said, okay, there's going to be a $50 no-show fee. And I said, I called and left a voicemail for you at 11 a.m. I have the phone, like I had it in my phone still. I don't make that many phone calls. And she said, yeah, but I didn't check the voicemail until after 1 o'clock. That's not my fault. But I'm also paying for my appointment as soon as I walk in the door. So if I tell her, no, I'm not paying that $50, is she going to let me pay that $100 to go be seen that day? Like, I got scared and I just paid it all. So it sucked because I literally had to delay my appointment a week because I couldn't afford last week, and now you're increasing it to 150. Like, they don't make it very easy, and it's not fair a lot of times, and it sucks. My doctor is only open 1 day a week, so that is incredibly difficult, especially like the nurse practitioner writes my prescription wrong every week. For a long time, I felt like I trusted my doctor let me take that back. I trust my doctor. For a long time, I thought I could trust the nurse practitioner that worked in his office as well. She's kind of giving me like weird vibes, and I felt uneasy, but I always felt like I know him. He's my mentor. He's a good guy. I'm going to be safe in his care. And I haven't seen him recently, and I only see her. I've had this bad experience with the late fee, and then she gets upset when I have to cancel. And I would love to cancel because I don't have $100 today and reschedule in like 2 days when I get paid, because I get paid weekly. But I have to cancel on a Wednesday and reschedule the following Wednesday. So like then I short myself. It's like it's difficult. And I got in trouble because I canceled too many times because I couldn't afford it. And I'm just like, well, what would you rather me do? Like, I can't pay for this. I can come in and show you that I don't have any money in my bank account, but I can't do anything. And she said that I have to stay within 30 days. I can't cancel again. If I cancel again, I get kicked out of the program. And I will go to my doctor. I will go to the doctor directly because I have his cell phone number, and he is my mentor outside of this practice. But I don't like this lady, and she scares me because I'm supposed to trust a big part of my recovery in her, and I don't trust her anymore. I feel very uneasy with her. I got into the situation last month where I had like 2 teeth extractions, and I ended up taking pain medicine. So when I started going back on the Suboxone, I started taking like 2 milligrams extra, and I was 3 days short. And I told her, I was like, can I please take, this X amount, because I've been taking it and then I'm going to go back down. And she told me that we could not increase my dose because I had been stable at my current dose for so many months. And I was like, I just told you I'm going to run out. So she didn't say anything to me. She handed me my prescription, and I looked at it on my way out, and there was nothing extra. I couldn't fill it early, knowing full and well I'm going to run out in 3 days. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, you should have enough. And I'm like, but I just told you I took extra. Like, I just had oral surgery or teeth extractions. Like, she's not listening. And I will make it known that she's, I get angry and I want to call her names and insult her, but like, that's not the way. I don't want to do that. I want to take the high road, but it's frustrating. And Cindy, you may need to find another place to go. Well, there's not very many options in town. There is another place I could go to. There's the one I went to before, and I mentioned it earlier this video, where they had some weird scheduling loophole where they would wait. I don't know, it was a mess. So one time they called me and said that they were full, like as I was being seen. I was one of their active patients, and they called me and said that they're full, and I missed an appointment, so I was being kicked out of the program. So that's one doctor. There's another one, which is it's a great outpatient facility, but they require a lot of therapy, like within their office. And I do my therapy through BetterHelp. It's something I've done for a long time, and I really like it. It works for me because I don't have to miss work or anything like that. So this facility requires like individual appointments and group appointments, which is, they're a good facility. I'm not talking bad about them. It just does not work for my schedule, my life, like especially because I can't drive right now, like without a car. So, and now there is one more facility in our area. So if there's the doctor I'm going to, and then there's one more facility, I thought they were just a methadone clinic, but apparently they do all of it. So if I have to, I do have one more option. I would hope not. Like, I really love the doctor I'm going to, but I don't like the nurse practitioner in his office. And I need to reach out to the doctor about, I'm trying to do public speaking, and I'm trying to do it at the local schools, like the local high school. So my high school art teacher has been a part of this, and I would like to share my story, but I want to tell people that, like, I didn't plan on being a drug addict. My major fault was that I never said no. I tolerated more than I should have. I put myself in situations I shouldn't have, and I wanted to leave, or maybe I wanted to, maybe I didn't, but I never did. And I think it's just really important. And that's the whole public speaking thing I want to do at school, and my art teacher said she can get me appointment with the principal, but I need to have, or she thinks I should have, like a referral letter from this doctor, and I am going to go see him. So I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to talk about this, and then I think I'm going to slide all of this into and be like, well, hey, guess what, has been going on for me. And I don't know. Hi guys. I am really looking forward to doing the public speaking in the local schools. I think it would be awesome. I also got asked to do like a speaking event for next June, I believe. Yeah, the first weekend in June. It's the recovery event I went to this year. Next year they would like me to share, and they're so amazing. I love those girls. And this event is called Nick's Hope. It's actually a friend of mine passed away. She had endocarditis, I believe it's called, and that's the bacterial infection in your heart, which comes from IV drug use and dirty needles. And she had open heart surgeries, and then she relapsed, and it got to the point where the doctor is like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to perform another surgery. And I think it was like she needed like her third surgery, or it was sad. It's very sad, because you're fighting this mental disease, and then you have a physical ailment because of it. And by losing her mental battle, she lost her physical one. And she had 2 little boys that are beautiful. So the event is to raise money for children of addicts, the children of people, the addicts that have lost their lives and had kids. It's for them. And I really respect what they're doing. I think Whitney's doing an amazing job, and she wants to turn it into like this nonprofit and do like grief support for the kids and raise money for them so that they can pay for the things that, because in those situations often they're financially strapped. And Kristen, I'm required to see my psychiatrist / doctor. You're supposed to see the doctor and the therapist at the same time. I think that's what you're saying. That's how the facility was in South Carolina, and it was really cool. I got to sit down with a doctor, a nurse, a psychologist, and then Greg was even in the room, and it was just awesome. And you had like, I think, a 30-minute appointment on the day that you had to get your refill, and then you could go in any day during the week. You just called and scheduled an appointment, and you could do individual counseling or group counseling. I don't like group, well, okay, I said individual or group. They did individual or couples or family therapy, but like group therapy or group meetings, like it has to be done at the right facility. I was required to do like drug and alcohol classes when I transferred to Florida for parole, and all that did was introduce me to a bunch of people that were currently fucking up and that could get drugs. Like, thankfully I was in a wonderful place and good state of mind, and I didn't want to associate with them. So like, I went to the class, I sat there, I participated enough to earn my points or my credits, and then I was done with it. But a lot of times, like, group therapy can be a place for you to meet other addicts, because it's not like at a 12-step meeting where, people go there because they want to be. There are like court appointed attendees or whatever, but most people there want to be there, and they care, so they're not going to let like bad stuff happen. But I don't know. The facility that I talked about in my area that requires group and individual class or therapy, they run a tight ship. Like, they run a very tight ship, and their group, I sat in on one of them, and they are awesome. You know what I mean? It's like a family, and everybody's doing. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Christy. They're doing a good thing. I still don't really like group. I keep saying I can't decide if I want to say group therapy or group meetings. Like, it's group therapy. I still don't like it because I don't really like socializing it, oddly enough. Like, I do this, and this is easy for me, but I think it's because I'm not looking at an actual person. When I look at an actual person, I kind of get like nervous and shy, and I don't talk as much. So I don't know. That's just my personal gripe. A lot of people love group therapy because it's more entertaining, you know? You can hear other people's stories and stuff like that, and yeah. But I am probably gonna head off of here soon because I think fireworks are actually at 9, but I'm starting to hear them, so I don't know if it's actually still light out. So, but I want to go get ready and I'm gonna go see fireworks. I hope you guys have a wonderful 4th of July for what's left of it. I hope that you had a good day, and I have a video dropping tomorrow. It is a sad one, like I mentioned. I'm going to try and do videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and live stream on Thursdays. But I dropped a video today because it was a holiday, so I figured why not. But I will see you guys in my next video. I'll see you guys next Thursday at 7 Eastern Standard Time. And as always, find me on Instagram my username is the same as my username here, so it's Megan F. And I will see you guys later. Bye.